Hello there and a warm welcome to this brand new video. Customers frequently ask us, why should I purchase multiple Ambrogio boarders? We often get inquiries about the benefits. In this video, I would like to explain that to you. I have to mention that despite the fact that I learned on Husqvarna, I am not an authorized Husqvarna dealer. Let us commence with that, shall we? A knife on here, for instance, the Husqvarna brand, is a reliable and durable tool. Knife, this is merely the shield used for the purpose of protection. Those aren't the blades, only ones. The lawnmower operates by employing these tiny blades which measure a mere 7 inches in length. Get out of the knife's way, man, that's dangerous. So constructed a plastic knife disc. Those are brass inserts. He says they also release occasionally. They have now improved them. A tad bigger in size, and there you have it. Just like that, with a bit more room to spare. There are multiple types of blades available, including simple pendulum blades that are sharpened on both sides 3 times, and pendulum exchange blades that rotate. In total, I have a collection of 4 blades, consisting of these different options. I possess cutting edges, however. Naturally, there is no comparison to a fixed knife, such as a knife made of stainless steel that measures 25 centimeters in length. Ambrogio also possesses a model that is comparable both in terms of price and features to the competition. Both advantages and disadvantages. The Husqvarna system is a little quieter, and I have to say a bit safer as well, because the blade stops more quickly, you know. When the knife divider starts to slow down, the blades already fold away, and the knife has a little more seam running time. But I must say, the lawnmowers nowadays have to comply with all the safety regulations. He fulfills that just the same. He has protection against interference here, and he is just as approved on the market, but he has significantly more impact. With regard to the matter of mowing, I also have a video of the F35 driving in tall grass. You can clearly see how much power it has. The wheels present on the 315ER are even the off-road wheels that come with the increased weight due to their sturdy construction. And they simply have these extremely sharp ones. And with high heels, especially in the fall, it can happen that you step on the leaves and the wheels get filled up, and then it has no traction at all. And these wheels here are made of a completely different material. They are extremely soft. They have the ability to conform to the terrain in every direction. Due to their flattened underside, they consistently yield and allow dirt to escape. Additionally, their lack of sharpness further enhances their adaptability. Pimples don't bother much nearby. Come on. When it comes to wheels, we have a set of 2 wheels in this specific location, as you can clearly see with your own eyes. For example, also the recording for the bike engine. At Husqvarna, this occurs in such a manner that the engine engages with these small knobs and is solely held and pressed by the nut. This is evidently a highly inadequate connection, because it is not a tight fit. At Ambrogio, it appears that there is a hexagon-shaped pattern molded into the plastic material, giving it a unique and visually interesting design. And there's basically no sliding occurring. It doesn't even have to be properly dressed, and the taking along takes place. Moreover, we have a wave seal here, as you know it from the industry, if you're searching for it. At Husqvarna we have no luck, then we have it. Additionally, it is a multi-part rim, which allows for simple replacement of the rubber without the need to discard the entire wheel. Moreover, the wheel motors in Ambrogio are typically constructed to be much more sturdy. Here you can see, for example, a pressed sheet metal engine, and with Ambrogio, the housings are milled from aluminum using a screw-on cover, instead of being cast or welded together like traditional engines. Then we can continue with the battery. This is a battery that comes from Husqvarna, a well-known brand in the industry. As you can see, the battery is only covered in shrink tubing with the temp sensor. It has 4 connections, and it doesn't have any battery management. That is a cellular package that comes from Ambrogio. As you are able to observe, he is present in this location. Even a backup positioned on the top surface of the object. A control of its own, he strikes every cell, and I possess a battery management system, so that the battery simply works together as a team. Not all cells create. Nowadays, batteries at Husqvarna have this appearance. From it is not much different either way, but the connections though are in. Provided with a plastic housing, which is approximately the same. The size of the Rogio is comparable to this one. The only significant difference is the presence of a 25V battery with 7. 5A here, whereas we have an 18V battery with 4A here. As a result, the power inside is almost doubled, despite the same size housing, thanks to the implementation of battery management technology. Then we're coming. Moving on to the next topic, let's talk about the front axle mount. Here you can clearly see the base, which is made of stainless steel, and it is made of stainless steel 6. In the larger models, the front wheel is rubberized with a thickness of 8 mm for a quiet ride over tiles. Let's take a look at the bread screen comparison again. Also rubberized. And the front axle mount, the stainless steel, is significantly more sturdy. Additionally, it is important to consider the dimensions and size of the ball bearings for optimal performance and compatibility. A total of 2 pieces were installed, with each piece being equipped with a shaft seal. This is a ball bearing, even from the larger model with an 8 mm mount. Are there 2 installed here with a shaft seal? You can see the difference here between them. Size is next. In comparison is the board from Ambrogio and the board from Husqvarna. Here, for instance, you can already recognize the distinguishing features and disparities between the 2 boards, which will aid in making an informed decision. I have a fire damage here. I will simply select the size of the connection to the cable, including the cable itself. It is just cut here and is very thin in cross-section, and if there is a poor contact or something similar, high currents flow here, which can occasionally result in a fire because I do not have any fuses here. The components are extremely thin and poorly dimensioned. When comparing it to the Ambrogio board, the components in this particular case are noticeably larger in size. Even the power transistors, for instance, for right, left, and bicycle motor. Bremer motors come with a cooling fin for efficient temperature regulation and enhanced performance, and much more solidly oriented than it is on the board of Husqvarna, which lacks a comparable level of focus. Even the cables, for instance, always with a clean, crimped cable lug with a connector plug. As you can see here, completely different dimensions, even from the connectors. This here is, for example, just another computer power cable, but with this cable it is still much larger and more massive. Okay, let's discuss the transformers. For example, you can see them with the transformers. It is clear that the plug connections are for the low voltage cable, which leads to the charging station. That is once here at the bread shoe, and that is the payment for the guano. We appreciate your cooperation and thank you for providing it. Then the casing of the transformer. Made of aluminum, I have it. In this particular situation, there is even an IP67 waterproofness rating. Aluminum makes sense because I have heat development and all that. Heat must escape or it can't. A transformer can quickly die in the heat, and that is something I have experienced, for example, with Husqvarna. At Husqvarna, I have a plastic encapsulated transformer with very poor natural heat dissipation to the outside, which is a significant drawback. What you can additionally identify is, without a doubt, me. I have a cable here from the connection point. That's almost twice as long and also much better in terms of dimension. Then we come to the cable from RAFO to the charging station. Here, for example, a cable from RAFO to the charging station from Husqvarna. Actually, in terms of dimension, like a speaker cable in the interior. In my opinion, it doesn't have much business in the outdoor area due to slight damage. I immediately oxidized the copper line. They have also made some improvements in the meantime, but the size of the cable is still the same. And when I look here, that's a cable from Ambrogio, from Trafer to the charging station. You can see that clearly. Recognize what's a bit worse about Ambrogio. I have a fixed cable length of about 8 meters. With Husqvarna, I'm the variable. I can choose between 3, 5, 10 and 20 meters. What's also essential is, for example, with Husqvarna, absence of rain sensor detected, not available. What I have at Ambrogio with mine. I have Ambrogio, for example, a rain sensor. I have mud flaps here as standard for when it's dirty. Paint it too close, then I have a super massive carrying handle here. Here's a socket for winter charging. The appearance suggests that it is located at the front. Here's the deal, I only have the handle for the day in housing, that's it. When touched, you can quickly tell, for instance, with completely different dimensions. Then, for example, I have it at Roger's place as well. All parts on motherboard assembly. I have superior equipment, you know. As far as that goes, for example, I have a motion sensor that the lawnmower recognizes when I'm moving. That has to do with, for example, when it gets lifted up in the back and the wheels spin without me touching the other sensors. Then the Husqvarna would drive forever because it only has a pre-programmed route from cable to cable, which is about a maximum of 100 meters. So if I lift it up in the back, it would spin for about 100 meters until it realizes that it needs to get back to the boundary cable. At the Procho, there's a motion sensor installed that senses when I'm moving, and if it's not moving, it might spin the wheels 2, 3, up to 10 rotations, and then it says, okay, something's not right, stop. Yeah, exactly. For example, there's even a compass built in that detects when it's moving in circles, driving in circles, and once it's gone through the cardinal directions 2, 3 times, it just drives away from the boundary wire. That has to do with it, especially when he's driving home to the charging station or something and hits an island while cable driving, then he notices that. And despite driving steeply, that is a massive advantage. And he consistently drives in a straight line. And Husqvarna only has its tilt sensor, which the Ambrogio also possesses. It possesses programming. But he doesn't drive in a straight line. Instead, he always tends to go uphill. Then he drives up the curve, which is also not ideal. Then we have a terrain adjustment at Ambrogio. The basic models at present do not have that feature implemented. Now we can show that, for example, at the 4.0. We have a terrain adjustment here, which is about the length of 6 centimeters corresponds to the measurement that I have here in my possession. So we'll join. With wheels, for example, rubber wheels. In both versions, even in triple for the 4.36, and the wheels possess an insane level of traction that is unparalleled. Furthermore, it is very well dimensioned with a carrying handle made of stainless steel and has a charging port and a soft bumper, all of which are of industrial quality. As you can see here, it features a stainless steel double design. Very sturdy, particularly when it comes to the bigger models. Is there a touch display available? It seems to resemble this, as an illustrative example. Hey there, Ambrogio. What's going on with you today? Manufacturer, no more to say. As people ask, where does he come? Well, I'd say he's from Italy. Oh, Italian product. Can you purchase that? I always have to explain, so ZCS Zucchetti is essentially a major software manufacturer in the industry. They began in 1985, and they are global pioneers in software and robotics technology. And since around 2000, there's been a sensible lawnmower robot from them, and they've become innovative. Husqvarna is still the market leader, but I'd say they're the technical market leader.
Asserting such claims is utterly nonsensical, and Ambrogio's credibility is highly questionable.
Yeah, the store brand and Zucchetti do that too. For other manufacturers without it. Get your act together and make a lawnmower robot in different shapes and colors for that too.
Additionally, the touch display is how it appears when using Husqvarna equipment. Alright, let's promptly turn it on then. As you can clearly see, the display is noticeably smaller in size compared to the previous version.
Hey, what's the battery level? Now he also shows things on GPS and just has to connect to the mobile network. Here is basically the same battery level, dialing into the mobile network. What you are able to see in this particular situation with the Husqvarna is that I have LED lights. In the more well-equipped models, there is a GPS GSM module, as you may already be aware. With that, I can access globally, even at sea. We can also observe the ocean when the customer is on vacation and says, look, I'm on vacation, hey, I can see the ocean. When the sea robot is standing, then you take a look. We'll take care of that as a service, for example. Or I can also guide if there are any mistakes. What does that mean at present? And then I also see it on my phone simultaneously and can guide the customer on the phone regarding what actions to take. Then, and only then, at the rodeo is when GPS-assisted mowing takes place, because Husqvarna, for instance, also utilizes GPS navigation, but solely for the purpose of driving to the designated starting points, not for the actual mowing process itself. And while mowing, there is no more GPS support. And on the brochure, he does these spirals, and he really divides his garden up so precisely and meticulously. And there's this infinity system now, where even multiple robots use the same grid and don't mow the same area twice. At brochure, I can also adjust the mowing zones. Depending on the size of the robot, I can set 4 to 8 mowing zones, and they can even be set individually with different time settings. That means, for example, I can tell him to mow in the front of the house in the morning, and in the back of the house in the afternoon. That works, for example. Not at Husqvarna either. Then Ambrogio, for example, a control where I can specifically get out of a corridor. So that's a given. He's recognizing like I'm shuttling between the boundary wire, I have a short distance to travel there, then he deliberately drives to the outer wire, just a short distance away, not far at all. At Husqvarna, I often have the problem that it gets all tangled up in there, and then everything just shuts down and can't get out of the tight spot. All of these functions can be adjusted individually, just like each sensor, the driving speed, the blade speed, each sensor, and every other aspect of the system. Dock forward to the charging station, dock backward, turn right, turn left. I can make all these settings using the service application on my phone. Also, dock up to the charging station. The flexibility of positioning the charging station is also given. It's naturally a bit more difficult to install, but I'm just more flexible with the charging station positioning, and with Husqvarna, it's relatively fixed. I have to take it as it is, and if that doesn't work, then I just have to do it the way the instructions say. Customer and I can also join. Ambrogio updates through smartphone, utilizing Bluetooth technology. It doesn't take that long, it goes pretty quickly. It still doesn't work with Husqvarna. So the difference with Ambrogio is, I think, quite clear. Overall, I think the technology is built to last. What's also really important to me during installation is that there are different cables available. These include, for example, the cables of Husqvarna 2.7, 3.6, that is 3.8, with regular steel flex conversion. Same core structure, there is also insulation in between. The steel flex sheathing serves as tensile strength and cut-off protection and matches the dimension of how the Ambrogio is built. For example, this cable exemplifies the aforementioned characteristics and specifications. From another lawnmower manufacturer, I simply didn't comprehend sentences 6 at all, what it's actually about. Because I have a copper wire made of pure copper here. If insulation is slightly damaged, the cable oxidizes rapidly. It's approximately the same size as me. you can utilize it on the ground, you know. Well, it is not about me criticizing anyone here. I simply want to share my personal experiences. And each lawnmower robot possesses its own reason for existence. That is always a matter of price. And every garden is unique in its own way. I can go there, explain to the customer, and say, here, a Husqvarna is good, an Ambrogio is good, a Honda is good. These are just the 3 brands that I'm working with now, because it's all about, you know, you got to be familiar with the little issues in installation. Every robot manufacturer is a little different. That's why I check out every garden too, and then I give advice. Of course, I'm an Ambrogio dealer by now. That's also become the reason because I like it the best, and I said, I want to represent the brand at home. I want to become a dealer. What I really like about them is that they're very innovative at Ambrogio, and let's just say they push the competition a bit to step up their game. I hope I was able to explain the differences a little bit. If you have any questions, please comment, like, and I'm looking forward to the next video.
That's all for today.